Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Van Chats. If you haven't already, please be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On this episode of Coffee and Van Chats, we chat with Cyclocross legend Kerry Werner. I'm super excited about this episode with Kerry. We chat everything from his European campaign all the way from him living out of his RV during quarantine and making sourdough bread. So please be sure to sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. This episode is brought to you by Orange Mud. Orange Mud is an adventure and endurance hydration pack for either cycling or running or whatever your adventure needs may be. So please be sure to check them out at www.orangemud.com. Hey guys, welcome back to Coffee and Van Chats. My name is John Croom, and I'm here with Kerry Werner, who is eating some sourdough toast, I assume. Yeah.
Yep. Totally.
Right on. And Kerry is not only known for his crazy bike handling cyclocross skills, but also is known for his sourdough bread. And then past that, he's also known for his YouTube channel, which is pretty popular, or is at least getting popular right now. But yeah, man, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I was actually working on the last installment of this video series this morning.
Sweet. Yeah. So kind of tell us a little bit about that. Like, I mean, you had your pro road days, and then now you are a privateer with like, what, one other? I mean, is your wife, is she a part of the team? I mean, in technicality or no?
No, I mean, we do travel a lot together because we are married and we share like logistical resources. But last year she was on the Amy D Foundation. This year she'll be doing her own program. But for me, it's Kona, Maxis, and Shimano are the presenting sponsors of our team, and then it's me and Rebecca Faringer are the two riders.
Right on. So, I mean, it looks like you have pretty much launched to this privateer gig. Like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the team that you've launched, I'm assuming, correct?
Well, not necessarily. So this is going to be my 5th year with Kona coming up 2020. So my last year with a team was with Clement before Clement switched over to Donnelly. And so that was like the last real team kind of structure I had. And then I didn't get my contract re-signed with them. And so I was like scrambling and stressing and freaking out trying to find a team. And I reached out to Kona, and they had a cross team for a while, and they were still sponsoring Helen Wyman.
Okay.
But they didn't have any U.S. presence, and it just like was coincidental that it worked out for them to start it up, and I needed a team, and so they gave me the opportunity, and it was really it was super impressive. I mean, like, you know how slow things can move in the bike world, and basically it was like end of May, beginning of June, or maybe beginning of May, and I was like, hey, you guys, like, what is the potential for working together? They were like, sure, send us over a proposal. So I sent a proposal over with like dollar figures and like equipment needs, and in a month later I started getting all of these things, and like it just like everything was happening like very, very uncharacteristic of the bike world, which was really cool.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever happened to me. I don't think I've ever just like sent a proposal, like, hey, can we get a proposal? It's like, yeah, sure, I need this, and this. And it's like, oh, month 1, I'm getting this. Month 2, I'm getting that. So yeah, that's got to be kind of nice.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I can't thank Kona enough for making that happen. So like the whole kind of team, it's not necessarily a privateer team. It's all through Kona Bikes. I would say like that is like the team, and then Shimano and Maxis are presenting sponsors, or like also monetary sponsors. And so Barry Wicks is my boss. He's the negotiator, the check casher. and he was responsible for adding a woman to the team, which was Rebecca, and that was 2 years ago. So Rebecca and I have been teammates for the last 2 years. Yeah.
And she's pretty new too, right? Like to the cyclocross world, or she kind of shot up through the ranks pretty quick.
She did. Yeah. I remember. So when I was first got on Raleigh Clement, which was 5 years ago or whatever, she was just doing her first like elite year. And she started on Jam Fund for a year or two. And so back before that, she was a triathlete. And
I think everybody that kind of starts late has a triathlete story. I have a triathlete story. I'll be honest. I'll rock it.
Well, I'll certainly make her feel better. So, but that's where she gets her bike handling skills, from triathlete stuff.
Right.
And
that makes sense.
however, she does do quick transitions on and off the bike. So I mean, I guess there's that for cyclocross.
Hey man.
So yeah, she came from that, got on Jam Fun, tried cyclocross, and really liked it. And it's been cool to see, like she's gone from, I don't know, squidwardly driving her bike around in the North American UCI races to going top 15 at Worlds, getting on podiums in European UCI races. So yeah, it's been really cool.
Oh, that's super rad. Yeah, because I've watched a few of your vlogs, so I'm not a guy that's just like hit you up and just been like, oh yeah, I see you do stuff on YouTube. You want to jump on? It's like I've watched a few of your vlogs, and it's great content. It just literally looks like you guys are just a family. Like it almost seems like if you had, because you have about 5,000 subscribers. It almost seems like if you had 10 subscribers, you would still be putting out the same length of vlogs every week. It just seems like you guys are just having fun and you love putting out that content.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, like, I think I don't know. I think like cycling should be fun. And I think that there's a lot of channels out there that show like, really polished kind of serious side of things. But like, I don't know. I kind of like the raw and uncut version of stuff. And like, it's very like the stuff that I'm putting out on YouTube is very unfiltered and uncensored, like, I mean, for sure there's some swear words that don't make it into the final stuff, and like maybe some gutter talk from Rebecca that doesn't make it in, but
yeah, because she tells it like it is. I mean,
yeah,
I've seen it on Twitter, man. She straight tells it like it is.
Exactly. So I mean, like, yeah, it's just basically, I just think it's cool to give people like a behind the scenes thing of just like what we really do on a like race day basis,
Yeah, that's super cool. And it actually, I mean, it motivated me to start doing that, which is kind of how I got into it. I ran across yours and saw what you were doing, and I was like, man, this is actually kind of interesting. So I gave the European look because we're not in Europe as long as you guys are. I mean, when we go over to Europe, we're like, I don't know, a couple weeks, and there's only like 4 World Cups, right? And it seems like every weekend there's a UCI World Cup for a cyclocross race, or like a UCI race of some sort. So like for us, it's kind of pretty simple. The hotel chatter, the craziness of not understanding what you're ordering at a cafe. Yeah, but that's super cool. So anyways, we'll talk about the big elephant in the room with just COVID. I don't know if you've heard about it, but there's this pandemic going on. Yeah. There's a pandemic going on in the US right now.
Interesting.
Yeah. How are you getting through that, man? Like, how are you training through it? I know you just did the Roanoke socially distanced stage race, but like, yeah, how are you getting through all that stuff, man?
Yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of bittersweet for me. Like, I've been saying for years that I need to stay home in the spring and the summer and like really focus on not traveling and not racing, so that when I go into cross season, I'm like super fresh and like ready to slay at the races. And it's been really hard for me because there are so many cool events. Like specifically last weekend Thursday to Monday, we were supposed to do the Transylvania mountain bike epic, like 5-day stage race in Pennsylvania.
Rad.
And then I've traditionally done Pisgah stage race in April, and then like we were gonna do BC bike race in July, and there were some other cool races I was gonna try to get to in July. So that sucks. But I also have like with this YouTube channel, it's like a balancing act of like, okay, well, if I don't have races to produce any content with and like get people, I don't know, cool videos, like what do I do? And like throughout the year, I always like think of things that I want to do, but then I'm like signing myself up for races, so I don't have time. So this time is like kind of nice because now I can't race. And
Yeah.
so I'm like to do these cool little side project adventures that I've been wanting to do. So that's kind of what I've been doing with my time. Also like just trying to do some like cool bike stuff to make sponsors happy and like keep things relevant even though we're not racing.
Yeah.
For instance, I just got my new Kona Hei Hei. It's like their
That's such a cool name for a bike.
Yeah, it's like their bike, and I'm gonna do a bike build video with that coming up here soon. But I also have some cool projects like me and Russell Finsterwald are thinking about doing bike packing the Colorado Trail in July.
Ooh, I want in on that. Sounds rad. Yeah, I'm actually bringing Russ on the podcast here in a few weeks.
Nice.
Maybe
we'll have some more info and like solid dates he can tell you about for that.
Yeah, that's super rad. Yeah, he lives right down the road from me, and I was supposed to do Leadville this year, and he was like, "Oh, dude, you should go out and do this thing called I've created this Whiskey 50. You know, it's just like the Whiskey 50, and I don't even know where the Whiskey 50 is. Like, I'm that green to like mountain biking, and he's over there cheesing like, just wow, what a jackass. And it's like honestly, man, like I have no idea what I was getting myself into, and literally there was one section of that entire trail that I walked the entire time, and like it was all like I think it was like negative 50 degrees, and it was just like I couldn't even find the trail. Like there was rock drop offs, like I mean taller than me. I text Russ after it, and I'm like, dude, what the heck, man? And he pretty much was just like, yeah, dude, it took me like a solid like 15 times to do that before I could ever actually ride the whole thing. But then he goes and gets the KOM on it. I mean, it was epic. So, but yeah, that's super cool. Because they usually have a race, like the Colorado Trail race.
Yeah, we're not going to do that, but we're just going to do it for fun. I think that would be pretty sweet. It's been a bucket list of mine, and Russell's actually tried it. He tried it a few years back, back when SRAM Eagle first came out, and nobody had any replacement parts. And he tried to push through a section that turned to like clay. And he said his bike just got clogged and weighed like 100 pounds, and all that clay like got in his derailleur or in his drivetrain and just like completely ruined it for him. So he was like 3/4 of the way through it and plug.
Oh man.
So he's looking for redemption. I'm looking for
the like, experience. Yeah.
Well, plus like I think Emily and I are going to make a trip out of it. So we'll probably drive out from North Carolina and plan on staying for a couple weeks just because it's a big drive, you know. And
for sure. Yeah, I'm doing it next week. I'm coming to Asheville. So
Emily and I actually lived in Colorado Springs for 8 months in 2015.
Oh, awesome.
And yeah, so we're familiar with the area and really miss the biking and just overall adventuring that you can do from there. So probably bag some 14ers, hopefully do the Colorado Trail, and who knows what else. Hang out with Potter. Haven't seen him in a while.
Oh, yeah, man. Good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so past that, like, I mean, doing the Colorado Trail and hanging out with Potter, like what else do you kind of have on plan or on docket for the rest of the year? Or is it just kind of like waiting it out and seeing what happens?
Yeah, I mean, like sticking to training, as usual, like planning for at least some sort of a cross season.
Yeah.
I'm pretty stoked that I haven't done any Zwift racing yet, and I plan on keeping it that way.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, just kind of like hopefully doing more stuff like the Roanoke socially distanced stage race. That was really fun. I don't know, kind of just waiting to see what happens. Just kind of checking things off of my like adventure list or whatever, and then I can go into cross season or whatever happens with a clean slate. Emily and I are also actually, we just threw an offer down on a house in Roanoke. So
Oh, wow.
we might be living in Roanoke by the end of the year. Who knows what will happen.
Oh, that's exciting, man. Congrats. Yeah. And so when you're doing these socially distanced stage races, you know, this is coffee and van chats. So we do talk about tiny home living. You're living out of an RV, man. How long have you had that thing? Let's hear about the beast. And does it have a name?
Tina is the name.
Tina
is a 1991 Tioga Montera.
Right on, before I was born.
Really?
Yeah, I was born in 93.
Dang, I was born in 91. So anyway, so yeah, same age as me, so good year. We can relate on things. But she's running strong. She was built on a Ford E350 chassis. She's got a 7.5 liter V8, and she pulls like 8.5 miles to the gallon, which is great right now because of our oil surplus that's happening. We have cheap gas, especially in Virginia. It's like 120 something, 130.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I think it was in Georgia for a while. It was like 90 cents or something crazy.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's honestly, so we probably have had it for 4 or 5 years at this point, and it's probably the best money that I've ever spent on anything. It's been, it's like my favorite way to go to a new place and like ride and just like, I don't know. It's like the best of all the things that you could want when you go adventuring. It's like you have a fridge so you can bring good food and you can cook food however you want. So the fridge is operated by propane. And so like we just spent 8 days in it, and for 8 days by cooking and using the fridge, we only like used half of a propane tank. So that's like, we got
That's
like
pretty solid.
Yeah. And, it's got a freezer, a fridge, an oven, a stove, and then like obviously a bathroom. So it's like fully self-supported off the grid. I installed solar on it last year, which it just trickle charges the coach battery. So like basically we could just like charge laptops and USB stuff. We can't really power any like blender thing unless we're plugged into another power.
Oh yeah, that's like the same with my van. Like I have like a power outlet on the side of the van. Like I have a small compact van, so I don't even have a Sprinter van. Like a lot of people, when I'm like, yeah, I got like an RV camper van, they're like, oh, so like the Mercedes Sprinter. It's like, no. Like the Dodge ProMaster. Oh yeah, it's a Ford Transit essentially. It's the ProMaster City, and it has a bed, has a fridge, no water, but it does have an outlet if I wanted to hook up. Has an external battery. It's pretty sweet. I mean, it has lights. It's insulated. You know, it does its thing. You know, has a shower in the back of it.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, it's just like, okay, I love camping. I love doing like I'd rather be parked in the woods than living in a house any day of the week. But it's like at some point you have to train, and then you have to think about recovery and like what's best. Like sleeping in a tent kind of sucks sometimes. So it's like, how do you do that? And for me, it's like, man, I could take the RV wherever and just like be totally comfortable, and I sleep great in it and have the food I need, and it's just like no stress, and it just like allows me to access really cool places whenever.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, like that's one thing, because I mean that was essentially the goal just for us, is like we were gonna travel, we were gonna meet these people. Especially like it would have been awesome to like meet you at a race and you have Tina there. And then we could have met Tina in person, could have done the podcast in Tina. I haven't even thought about what I'm going to name my van yet. I'm still working on that. I don't know the gender. I don't know anything. I'm trying to think of something neutral.
It'll come organic, man.
Yeah. It's been hard because, we've had a new relationship and I feel like I haven't given it enough love. So it's been quite difficult, but.
And that's the problem. It's like when I have Tina parked in the driveway for weeks on end, I start getting anxious. Like, man, we got to go somewhere. We got to do something.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So cool, man. So I don't want to like take up your entire day, and I really appreciate you jumping on with me, man. But honestly, I just want to ask you one more question because it got me thinking. Not that you're retiring anytime soon, but you say you could live off the grid. If bike racing ended for you today, where would you end up going in Parkentina and just camping out?
Man, well, like, I don't know. Like, if I had Tina, I probably just wouldn't ever park her for very long,
Yeah.
Because there's just so many cool places to be and see. Like,
well, where's one place that you haven't been yet? Like mine's Utah. Like I kind of want to go do White Rim. I want to bike pack it.
I have a video about that.
I know. I saw it, man. I saw it actually when I was looking up trips and figuring out things to do. And that's another reason why I messaged you. So
you should do it's an amazing experience. I will say, like, the one thing is, like, give yourself some extra time and maybe bring an extra SD card, because once you get out there, you're literally going to stop every 5 or 10 minutes and just be like, what the fuck is going on? It's unreal.
Yeah, it looks epic.
Yeah, Utah is cool. Like, I haven't checked out much of, like, I've seen Moab, and, like, Emily's sister lives in Salt Lake City, and so we've done some skiing and stuff, and I've ridden mountain bikes in and around that area, but I haven't checked out Canyonlands much. I haven't been to Bend, Oregon much, but I also haven't. Montana seems really idyllic to me, and just like huge open spaces. That seems really cool. So maybe somewhere like that, like Eastern Oregon, Montana, Idaho, that area.
So I guess your like answer to the question was anywhere and everywhere that has in the woods. Basically, yeah. Yeah, that's a good answer.
Like anywhere where there's not people would be great.
Yeah, well, especially like right now with the whole virus, I feel like everybody's decided to be fit all of a sudden. So it's like trails are heavy, and all these campsites are like sold out. Like because we're going to be on the way to Asheville, camping out in Pisgah and hanging out in Brevard,
right.
And yeah, like trying to find places to camp, like in Arkansas, because we're doing like the long route. We're going down to Texas, Arkansas, through Oklahoma, into Tennessee, and then I'm coming down to Asheville. Like trying to find campsites right now is insane. So,
yep.
And in Colorado, it's really easy to disperse camp,
right.
And you can kind of get away with it. But I think once you start to break into like get closer to the East Coast, it's like, oh, get out of here, That's
one of the things. Like, so we've been to Virginia a little bit over the last weeks, like looking for houses and doing this stage race thing, and they have dispersed camping in George Washington and Jefferson National Forest, and it's so much of a relief compared to like working with Pisgah, where it's like there's only 5 camp spots off the gravel road, and you're just like, hopefully there's space. If not, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do.
Yeah, and I've been kicked out of enough Walmart parking lots where it's just like, and I've like the strange stories that I have from people knocking on my door and being like, hey man, you got space? It's like, no, I can't say that I do. I am moving now.
Yeah.
So, well, cool, man. Well, I'm going to let you get to breakfast, and dude, thank you again so much for your time, and hopefully we can do this in person one day. And yeah, other than that, man, best of luck to you and your training and getting a house in Roanoke.
Yeah, man. Thanks. If you're ever passing through, let me know.
Will do. All right. Thanks, guys. Cheers.